Oh, hello there. Hi, I'm just getting my little Jesus book ready. So, I'm gonna wait a minute. Till a couple peeps get on. It's early, but I have faith. Because I asked God this morning, what am I supposed to talk about today? He threw me for a little loop. This is more a general thing, general topic that's not just for people who have gone through narcissistic abuse, but for anybody who feels like they are not living their dream or what they thought they would be living. So first, if you're on now or on replay, I'll give it a little minute, but I can talk about my little situation, my related situation. I had very different dreams from when I was younger, right? Like I wanted to go to California. I wanted to dance and sing and act, right? And because of certain situations, because of just how life worked out, that exact dream didn't work out. Is part of that because there was a narcissist in the situation? Yes, but this is also for anybody who just feels like they're not living their life like this dream they had their, intentions set on when they were younger, even 10 years ago, whatever. And you're like, oh my gosh, you're like, oh. And I've had this moment a couple years ago where, I turned 40 2 years ago. And it's like that, I'm 40 and I had this dream and that dream. But also at that point, when I turned 40, I had gone through so much deep work, soul searching, whatever you want to call it, that even though I had that question pop up, it was easy for me to push aside. And for those of you who are in this stage, I call it U 2.0 now. That's my new thing. I think I might call the course I'm creating that U 2.0. Because no matter what the reason is, if you're kind of feel like you're recreating yourself, I want you to first start with the fact that you're not the person you were when you had an idea of these dreams, right? Like when I had these dreams of going to California and acting and dancing, whatever, the core of that did not change. I love acting. I love entertaining. I love making people smile, right? For me, that's where that comes from. And I don't mind performing, right? Like I'm not shy. So those things could have worked. The thing that you have to think about is, and this helps me, is when I had that dream, what was the deeper part of it? Like, why did I want that? And kind of dissect, like, when you were dreaming back in those days, first of all, the core of that dream is probably still there. We'll go there in a second though. And the second part of it is, you are not that person entirely anymore. You have probably evolved and grown. Like, let's say my dreams of going to California and doing the things and whatever in a specific way was my dream when I was probably 22. Like, through college, I majored in television production, and I did on camera mostly throughout my college years. That was like my favorite thing to do. I was an anchor and a weather girl, and I had TV shows. Hi, Marie. We're talking about dreaming. And shifting our dreams where we're still getting the core result, but it may not look exactly the same. But we don't really want it to look the same. Do I think I have the same values exactly or the same priorities? Definitely no. Dreams, Marie. Especially priorities. My priorities in my life, they're just different now, and that's okay, right? We can still mold our dreams to fit our current reality and our current priorities and our current situation. If I was 20 and single, would I still want to go to California and do that single life and try to host a show on E? That was like, I just thought that'd be so fun, but I wanted it to be like a funny, fun show. I had all these ideas, right? We have a lot of ideas. We have a lot of dreams. It's good to dream. But let's go back to the first part of it. Dissecting, what was it? Let's say you have a dream to do whatever. Besides just loving doing that thing, like you're actively doing that. What yours were different too. Having children made me feel different, and that's okay. And I think some of us get so caught up in what we could have done, or like I've heard a lot of that from my clients, like, oh, well, I used to want to do this. First of all, I've had clients say, oh, I used to want to be an interior designer, but I never got to do that. Guess what? Now she's an interior designer, right? So your exact dream can still happen if that's what you want it to happen, and can still fit in your new life, right? But for me, mine shifted into going back to the first part, what is that, the deeper why? Why did I want to act, or just, there were a lot of different dreams I had. Good morning, Bubble. But a lot of what I've always wanted to do in the entertainment way, even with dance, like I want to help people feel things through my gifts or whatever. Let's say my songwriting. I love singing and writing songs, writing music. So me and my husband do that. Do I have to be Mariah Carey to achieve that dream? No. Right? But I love creating music, so I create music. I love connecting with people through music. That's what I truly love about music, right? How do I do that? I'm just raw. I don't hit all the notes. I'm not perfect. I don't put a lot of weight on it being great. It's like when I'm in my music, I'm in my music, and that's what I care about. And it's not focusing on how many likes the song got, or, am I playing out and, becoming famous, right? Or something, right? When I was younger, I was like, oh, I'd love to be a singer and an actor. And it was like this grand idea of, not for the fame and attention, but that's just how you're almost taught to dream, right? Dream big. Dreaming big doesn't mean you have to have some huge audience. To me, I would rather, like, I've created songs that are like reflective of my abuse journey, right? I would rather my song really hit and help 10 people feel seen and heard, and like I can relate to them and I get it. Like, I'd rather that than have an empty song where I'm hitting all the notes and talking about fake love. I'm not saying that that's what it is out there, but some of it is, right? Where it's just this perfect whatever to try to universally be loved by all and be famous, whatever. Again, there are amazing artists that, like, yes, of course, if you can touch, like, if you have the perfection and the deepness, like, to me, I only listen to music that I feel. Like, it's that raw. I love raw people that have imperfect voices, and you feel the emotion coming out of them, right? So all that to say, that's an example of dreaming in a different way, letting it fit your life in a new way. Even this, right? I was a television production major. I loved connecting with people through TV. I liked editing. I didn't love editing, I'll be honest, but I liked being able to mix a story and match it. Just got a little text. But there's things about the television world that I loved, and who knows, will I go back to that at some point? Like, I still keep in touch with tons of people. I worked at Discovery Channel. Could I connect and maybe go back if I feel it when Cora's a little older or something, and she's, not wanting to hang out with me and wants to be with her friends after school? Maybe I would look into that. I don't know. But right now, what feels really good to me is helping, right? I've always been a helper, and I've always wanted to help people see themselves. And that's something I did with friends my whole life, right? So it's like a gift I didn't really pay attention to. It's just kind of like, oh, that's just me, right? Like, my husband called me the town therapist. People lean on me for advice, and I think I have gotten even better at cutting through the bullshit and just getting through. Like I say, I'm fierce mama, right? Because now I've gotten to the point, it's like I see through people's BS. I help other people see through BS, and I help them protect their peace, set boundaries. And why? This is what it's all about, to become that person they want to truly be. And maybe you're not able to be that person. You know it. You've had glimpses of it. You feel great when you feel like that. But it feels like consistently you cannot be that person. That's what I help people do. That is what I think I'm here to do. Are there parts of that that relate to my other dreams? Yes, but my priorities have shifted. We've grown, we've matured. It's more important to me, not exactly how I do it, not through TV or hosting a show. Not saying that wouldn't have been awesome and fun. Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh, that is so weird because Bubble just said he listened to 40 seconds of Hallelujah. Good voice. Thank you. How did you find it? Just on the channel? Because I'm on SoundCloud and I was I have to remember to put all my songs up there, but I wrote a couple songs. If you want on SoundCloud, it's Christy, Christy, 3368, I think, on SoundCloud. A couple of my original songs that I don't post because they're like on my Facebook because my family's on there and it's like awkward because I'm talking about my jacked up life, my childhood memories. So there's one called Shed on there and there's one called Still Here. Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah, that video, I know you and I may have some political differences, I assume, just by, by what we've talked about, but I love that about us. It's cool. It's fine. But so the video you might not love a couple parts of it, probably toward the end. I think on that video, I'm trying to remember if that video has anything, but you may not. I don't know. I don't know how far our differences are, but anyway, thank you for that compliment. That's very kind. But I love singing. I love creating and I love connecting. And to me, it doesn't matter if that's music. It doesn't matter if that's through this screen, right? I love sharing. I love making people laugh, right? I'm usually more serious here in the mornings, but like in real life, I mean, you've seen it too. When I did Whiny Wednesdays, it was, more jokey. Maybe I'll bring them back because that was a fun time. Who wants Whiny Wednesdays back? Tell me. And would you want them pre-recorded or live? So anyway, those were, more like jokey, drinking wine, having a good old time. These are more serious, but I've gotten more serious. I've gotten more serious about protecting our peace because of what experience I've had in the last 10 years, where I realized, holy shit, literally one person in my life affected me so much, and I'm not here for it anymore. I'm not here for it because the only being for me that I care about, truly care about their opinion or what they think of me is God, right? And when you start to realize you've let another human determine part of that, me not going to California was because of this person. So I get feeling like you missed out because of a situation you were in. Or maybe you were just scared. Maybe it had nothing to do with abuse. Maybe you were just afraid or didn't believe in yourself. But maybe you didn't believe in yourself because you were abused, right? Like it can all be linked. So yeah, I'm pretty serious about it because I want, and I'm going to backtrack to last night. I was watching American Idol. I get really emotional during American Idol. There's something about it. Because I connect with music so much, some of these people are brilliant talent, right? So just can connect. And last night there was someone on that I was like, oh, like blubbering. Like I will cry at music. I'm a tough chick, but man, throw some music at me and I'm like a little weenie. But I was sitting there and I was just watching this kid come out and hug his mom after. And she said, you did it. You did it. It gets me. You always miss out, big time miss out. There are millions of ways. There are millions of ways where you missed out, but there are millions of ways to not miss out, right? That you make up for missing out. And I believe, we're always resetting and it's time to listen, right? Listen to God. Like, what is he telling you to do today? I literally said, God, send me what to speak on. That's what I do every day. It doesn't always make sense. It doesn't always fit into this perfect picture of like what I'm supposed to talk about, right? So anyway, American Idol, they're embracing, and even saying it, I do get emotional because she was like looking at her son. It was like, I can't remember if it was son or daughter now, but at the child, and was like, you did it. And they were like, I did it. And the tears, and it's just like, that is how I want to help people and how I have helped people, where I help you go from not believing in yourself, getting out of crappy relationships, or being in, there's some I have had that were in not the best marriages, not necessarily narcissism, but with people who held them back, and helping people see themselves for the first time. And like, I can do, like, that moment where you realize you're way, way, way more powerful than you think, which we all have the opportunity to be. And if you're not there yet, it's fine. A lot of people aren't. But man, when I realized myself, I never thought I could have my own business. I never thought anyone would, I don't know, care what I say on a screen, whatever. For me, that shifted. I was just on YouTube doing whatever. When I remember hitting 20,000 subscribers, I was like, it took that much for me to, and it wasn't about the numbers. It was just like, I guess I matter somehow, you know? I guess my words matter. And it shouldn't take the numbers, but sometimes it does, right? But it didn't become about the numbers, right? It's more like, how can I connect? And I just had this desire to connect deeper and deeper. And that's why I love working one-on-one with people. A lot of coaches, it gets hard when you're one-on-one because it's exhausting to do so many, because you're getting paid less, right? If you do like group coaching, which a lot of people, they say, if you're a coach, you really should do group coaching because each person is paying this much. And then if you count that, it's a lot more money. It makes more sense business-wise. Not saying I've done some group coaching because it's fun for people to socialize and stuff and connect that way, have support. With narcissistic abuse, a lot of people at this stage kind of want one-on-one. They don't really want to be discussing this with, 5, 10. For me, the shifts seem to happen more quickly. And I'm this person. I'm quick. I want people to be able to taste that joy as fast as humanly possible. I have one client right now, her husband passed away. She came to me and said, I know I'm not I'm not a mom. At that time, I was just working, with moms that were like reinventing themselves kind of, right? Like, it's not just about momming, guys. We got to get our identities back, that whole kind of thing. She's like, I know I'm not a mom, but would you work with me? I said, well, let's have a call and see, because I want to help anyone I can. If God sent you here, well, let's talk. And I talked to her, and I was like, I know I can help you. Like, I know, even though, you're not a mom, I can help you. And her shifts have been incredible. And I honestly am impressed by her and feel like I couldn't even do what she did in the time she did it. And I think that's because I had to do a lot more legwork and deeper work and research to get where I am, where when you have a coach or someone who's gone through something themselves, it's a game changer because they know how to accelerate it, right? So if you are looking for one-on-one support, you can comment or email me at fiercemamac@gmail. That one-on-one support is like where those like mind-blowing shifts happen. Like I said, I've had people who have had their dream and then reinvented themselves, and like they're literally doing the same dream they wanted to. It just might look different, might be part-time. One of the people, she's like, well, I want to be here for my kids. And I said, why can't you do it part-time while they're in school? She was like, I don't know. I'm like, because we try to fit into a box of what we think life is. We can create our reality. It's a fact. I've done it with my business. I've done it with many things in my life. And it's not like we're creating it, but we can call on God to help us create it. Because if it's on our heart and He's put it there, it's there for a reason. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, I'd really love to. Podcast is a bad example because I didn't think of that. That was straight up like, God, what is my thing? And He's like, podcast. I'm like, really? That's the big thing you want me to do? That's the road? Okay. But in general, let's say he'd put that on. I was just like, oh, I really want to do a podcast. Just had this idea and whatever. That's not there for no reason, right? So if you're called to do something, step into it, do it, take the first step. So like with her, she was like, oh yeah, I can't, I did this and I loved it, but now I have kids. And I'm like, do part-time. And she's like, oh, I doubt there's those positions out there. I doubt that. And I was like, why do you doubt that? And she's like, part-time? I doubt it. And I'm like, start looking, right? So she did. And she found, I believe it's been years now since I worked with this woman. Because she eventually she was starting to work for herself, and then pandemic hit. But then she did find a firm to work with. Is that what you call for interior design firm? I guess. But then there are other people, like one person just was like skating through life and bored and like, I've abandoned my dreams and and I'm like, okay, let's go to the drawing board. And we do a little exercise to figure out the things that your skills, your gifts, anything since you're a kid that you can remember that you love doing or you're really good at, like doing that, right? Even personality traits. Are you outgoing? Can you talk in front of people? Do you love doing hands-on things, right? It could be a combination of both, but you can put all those skills together and figure out another way you can keep your dreams alive, even if it's not what you thought. So for her, it was actually, she started a club, like a neighborhood club, and it grew and grew and grew and got like crazy big and got new chapters like in other areas. And that all started from just our conversation, right? And then she also wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. And when she came to me, she's like, maybe I don't. Like, why? I'm not happy, so maybe... And this is a good point too, right? You can think it's something that it's not. And then through this work, you can realize something else. So she was like, I'm not happy. Like, I must not like being a stay-at-home mom, but I feel like I love being with my kids, but I've lost myself and da-da-da. So she started this club, and then she goes, I think I need to look for work. So right away, the first week, she's like, okay, I'm going to figure out what I want to do for work. And we're doing that. And then we started working on things that were happening at home. And she started getting happier and happier. And she hadn't found a job yet. She wasn't really focusing too much on that, but she was becoming happier and happier. And then she was having an issue with one of her kids. And we worked through that. I said, why don't you try this? Every day, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to go into the details. But so she started doing that. And her kid did a 180 and started acting insanely better. It was clear to me that the child was looking for attention, even though she was getting a lot of attention because her mom was home. It wasn't the right kind of attention. It wasn't just a body near you. It wasn't. So again, that's stuff when we work together, like we go deeper on this stuff, but it was actually a really quick fix that she just had a blind spot to, because most of us have blind spots with our own situations. And I was like, try this every day. It was 20 minutes of her life every day. You give kids undisrupted attention for 20 minutes, doing something that they love and you love. Let's say, like it's art, right? You let them do their fun art. You go if you make a fun thing out of it, every week you go and you get like a fun craft project or something, but you also get something you love because you don't want to sit and do watercolor paints. Find something you love to do that's tactical that you can sit there and do with them, and you 20 minutes a day. It might end up being longer because you're both having fun doing what you love together. But you're there. It's one-on-one attention. No phones, no disruptions, no TV on in the background, right? That, just as a little side tip, can be a game changer for parenting. So, little side step, because that's how I roll, but it's all related, right? So it's like, what dream, put it in the comments if you're on, or in the replay. Like, what was your dream you may feel like you missed out on? Anything. It could be you wanted to move somewhere. That's another thing. One of my clients was like, oh, well, I never got to move anywhere I really wanted to. I never got to. Da, da, da. And I'm like, okay, well, guess what? She eventually moved. Her family, her husband was fine with it. They never had even discussed it because she just thought it wasn't an option. Sometimes, again, that the power and the possibilities that we have, we often are just kind of blind to, or just don't even think they're options, or we can't see past this like fixed idea of what it is. But you can infuse your dreams into your life in so many ways. And it's hard for me to talk about it all because I have all these clients with different dreams, and sorry, this alarm thing's going off. It's a lot of, it can go deep because there's so many options. You know what I'm saying? Like the conversation can go deep. It's more specific, more customized. So it's hard for me to talk on it in such a broad way, to tell you all the things, because that would take a long time. But there's just ways that once I hit that aha moment, and so with YouTube, it was like, that was a big moment, but it wasn't my aha moment. That was like, people might actually be affected by what I say. I had to open a P.O. box because I was getting so many letters and notes saying that I was bringing joy to these people's lives, and like people were making me things and sending me gifts, and I couldn't even see that. Even when that was happening, I couldn't even see that meant anything. I guess that's because you feel like you're just doing what you love and what your job is, what your purpose is. So I was already living in my purpose, but still almost thinking, well, yeah, this is cool, but I did want to, I appreciate it, don't get me wrong, but I was still dreaming of other things in the back of my mind instead of enjoying and I was enjoying it, of course, to an extent, but truly appreciating how big it was, because it didn't look as big as the other dream I had since I was little, right? But it was actually bigger. To me, now, what I know, and in my mature 42-year-old self way, it's way bigger to get cards. I have a box full still of cards and letters I look through to remind myself how big that season of life was, you know? People just saying, I'm going through depression. I watch your videos. I binge watch your videos just to make myself laugh or to lift me up, to whatever. That's, to me, bigger than someone saying like, oh, it's so cool, I saw you on channel 14, which happened in college, you know, that was neat. But that didn't feel the same depth, you know? Oh, I saw you on the TV screen, you know, cool. I'd rather have the letters. And you can do both. There are people that do both. That's awesome, right? I'm not saying that the typical big dreams are bad. I think if there's depth to it, that's great. I think if you're doing it for the fame and fortune, it's not great. That will never feel as good. So what are your dreams? I want to hear your dreams, and you can start to thinking of it on your own. We can work together, but like, they're not lost. Like your dreams are never lost unless you let them be, right? I don't know if I'll go like this summer. I don't know. Maybe I'll do this summer. Before COVID, like I love comedy. I love making people laugh, right? At the improv, there's an improv in DC and they have improv classes. And I was signed up before COVID to do improv class. Not to become some famous comedian, right? But to be around people that love to make other people laugh, just like being in the same space as other people that enjoy that so much, and having fun and learning skills to like make people laugh more, right? Like I love making people smile or laugh, right? Either lifting them up and empowering them, that's my jam, or my personality is just goofy and whatever. So yeah, I make people laugh, but it's not, and I was talking to my husband about this, that it never felt like, you know, sometimes like, oh, center, you want attention, center of attention. Never felt like that. Even when I was literally the class clown and ridiculous in high school, I was always in trouble for making people laugh. It never felt like, oh, I want the eyes on me and I want the attention. It was like, I want all them to feel good because I was bored. And it was always the classes that I was the most bored in that I'd try to make everyone laugh. Do I realize that was disruptive and disrespectful now? Yes. Okay. I'm 42. I've learned. I apologize to teachers. I went back and visited when I was in college, and I apologized to every teacher that I kind of made their life hell and disrupted things. Oops. Anyway, I do have a call coming up, which I'm very excited about. I just love watching. I love watching my clients have the aha moments and grow and be like, I can't wait to tell you what I did. Like that. Oh, that's why I do what I do. I can't wait to tell you what I did. I did it. Goes back to American Idol. Mom, I did it. I think there's like no better feeling when you've doubted yourself and you had the courage to do it anyway and to be like, damn girl, I did it. I did it. So what do you want to do? What can you do? Because you can still do it. It might look not exactly like you anticipated or expected or what you thought when you were 20, because you're not 20 anymore. But if you're 20, girl, go do all the things. You got so much time. Do them all. I wish I had the confidence to try and do more. I mean, I did some cool things. I did. But there were some things I was held back by that one person who held me back. That sucked. But I'm trying to think if there's anything else besides going to California that I technically regret, which I don't, because the path is what the path is, and I probably wouldn't have met my husband. But what I learned from that was huge. What I learned from not going was huge and made me feel like, well, no one's going to stop me, even if at this point in my life I don't really want to go to California. My husband, he probably would if I begged and pleaded and cried. But I love where I live. I love the people here. I love the culture. So how can I do the things I wanted to do or my dreams in a different way from here, you know? And in what ways? And you can do it. So write down a first step. Write in the comments, what dream what was your biggest dream? It's fun. It's fun to think back and to dream. And it's not lost. There's still going to be ways to do it. So again, if you want to work one-on-one with me, 2.0U is coming. Fierce Mama, MAMAC @gmail.com. I hope you all have a beautiful day. And I hope you really take this into consideration. Not just like, oh, that was cool watching Christy while I did laundry and it's kind of meaningless. I want you to really like sit a minute and be like, is there anything? Maybe you're good. Maybe you're fine. Maybe you're living your dream. Dreams, literally, your dream could be managing your house and your kids or whatever, and that is a big enough dream. But if there's something you feel like is lacking or you feel like you're missing something, let's find it. Let's find it. It's in there. Okay? All right. I got to go get on a call. I love you. Smooches and deuces. I got a thumb hole today. I love a good thumb hole. Got two. Ooh. Oh, I'll tell you guys, remind me tomorrow, Marie, if you're there, and you come back tomorrow. Have a nice day. About the gymnastics stuff. It was Cora, like, literally left the guys' session crying and said, I hated that. I'm never going back there. It was like boot camp. All right, bye. Deuces. I want to make sure you didn't respond. Oh, I didn't even do my makeup. Shoot. Blabby lips.